Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the BGE video of the week. Now, before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted because you guys rock. To my crazy fam, I love you guys. Now, we're up to episode number 93, and we left off last week with text. We went ahead and tried to do a little bit of the 2D filter and get you to follow up on the end of the little bit of programming we're going to learn in this part. So now we're going to work with text and doing graphics with text. So let's get started. Okay, so let's switch over to here real quick. So this is where we're left off. We're going to start a whole new one. So let's start a whole new. Okay, load from startup just gives you this. Okay, and I'm just going to read on from the book. All right. So to display text, you can pre-make a mesh object that has a real geometry of the text or texture map a plane. This method is simple, but is very limiting because the text cannot be changed during the game. To show different text, the artist would need to create a new asset for each text string the game needs. To display text that can potentially change during the game, there are 4 ways to display dynamic text within the game engine. 2 of them are useful for only static text that doesn't change throughout the game. The other 2 are dynamic. The text they display can be changed on the fly. Okay, so static text using real geometry, static text using pre-made textures, dynamic bitmap text, and dynamic text object. Static text, say that 5 times fast, is not treated any differently than regular Blender objects. For the rest of this section, we will look at ways to create dynamic text. Okay, so static text is just, when in a lot of the old 2D games, they would just pop it up, and it would just pop up with the little, speak box, and it's already got the words in it. That's static text. Dynamic text is it brings up a speech box and it prints out the words, or what looks like a typewriter across your screen. That's dynamic. Okay? Bitmap text. If the game engine can render hyper-realistic 3D graphics in real time, how hard can it be to render some text onto the screen? Turns out it's relatively, hang on, let me reread that. It turns out it's really difficult due to the awkward workflow needed to create the text. Okay? The process involves creating a texture containing all the letters of the English alphabet, plus numbers and symbols. Yes, languages that use a non-Latin alphabet are not supported using this method. UV map the texture on a plane, turn on the text option in the material setting, and create a game logic property on the text object called text. Fill this variable with some string. Once you run the game, Blender will then automatically display content of the text string on the screen. Ta-da! Hello! Come back. Okay, let's try that again. Start with an empty Blender file. So what we're going to do is going to click on everything in here. I said A. Okay, and hit X. Delete everything off of there. You don't need it. Okay. Select the Blender game from the Render Engine drop-down menu. This will be BGE because if you're using BGE. If you're using original 2.79 Blender, then this will say Blender Game. Okay, but we're using BGE because it was one of the ones that I use, and some people like it still, some don't. It's okay. They still got a lot of work to do. Okay, so we got the Blender Game Engine selected. In the top view, add a plane by clicking the Add Mesh Plane. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and hit on your num key 7. Okay, what that does is it brings you down. Now, if you're working with a laptop, you're going to have to go into settings and change that in settings. I'm not going to go into all of that because it's a little bit rough to try to go through that and try to cover this at the same time. If you're working with a keyboard, you have to go into your preferences and you check it. There's a little checkbox that you can create that says use your number keys as the numpad keys. Okay. All right. So we're going to add a plane. So we're going to hit Shift. Let's make sure I'm in there. Okay. Yeah, Shift A, Mesh, Plane. Okay. Now you see you get a little plane there. All right. Configure one of the viewports to be the UV image editor. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull this across. Whoop, okay, and then you're going to come down here and you're going to look for UV image editor. Okay, so now you've got your design and then you've got your UV map. Okay, select the plane and hit edit mode by pressing tab. So, okay, let's zoom in a little bit on that. We're going to hit tab, which will put you automatically in edit mode. Okay, from the UV image editor, load the text image texture from the folder. Now, I don't have that one, unfortunately. It did not appear. I did not have it in the file. It's one of those ones where it didn't work. Okay. The image texture deserves a little more attention. This texture is generated by a free tool that you can that can be found at HTTP. I don't know this. I will put that in the description, but I'm also going to open it. There we go. Alright, now I'm going to switch. If we can go to it. Nope, I guess not. Ah, there we go. Okay, no. Alright, let's got the wrong thing going here. Okay, so we hit 6. That puts us over here where it says Bit Font Creator. You can use this by, it's a really old program. And you can just make you one from this. It actually works pretty well. It uses Python image library. So you can actually use it in Blender. And as you can see, Game Blender application wasn't able to build them correctly. Fonts that overlap characters and resolution wasn't satisfying too. Okay, so basically you can go here to this website. I will make sure I put that in the description, but we don't have it right now, so I'm not going to really continue on with the other. So I will put that in the description. I'm somewhere down there. Okay, so that way you have it. Now it says configure the viewport. So I already did all that. Yes. Okay, it contains the most commonly used characters and symbols arranged so that Blender knows exactly where each character is. Okay. So create a material for the object under the game settings, enable text. Okay, so you're going to create a material. Okay, just any material, I guess. Under the game settings, enable text. Okay, so we're going to go down here to the game settings. Okay, and it has, where's text? It does not have it. ARDB doesn't have it. Okay, that was about useless then. It should be somewhere in here. You just gotta, I believe that's actually redundant now because you can actually use text. That dynamic text is a lot better than this way. But we're gonna go through it anyway, okay? This will tell Blender to treat the image texture you loaded in the above step as a special text image. The plane will now show an @ symbol, the first available character of the text image. This is normal. Configure one of the viewports to be the logic editor. So we already got the logic editor down here. Keep the plane selected. Okay, so we got it selected. In the logic editor, add a new game property and name it text. So you got to come over here, add game property, and you're going to call it text. Okay, it's going to be a string. So you notice that those numbers go away. So now you can type just about anything in here. All right, and name it text. This is important. Otherwise, it won't work. And set the data type to string. So that's what we just did. We named it text, and we did the string. Okay. In the value field, type in anything you want. Whatever is stored in this text property will be displayed as text in the game. So you can put hello world. Everybody knows that one. If you know anything about, if you've done any kind of programming at all in every language, computer language that you can ever think of, that's the first thing they teach you is hello world. So, putting text on the screen. You just did it in a game engine. All right, run the game. The context of the text property will replace the @ symbol. This method of displaying text does have several drawbacks. For example, because text, and I don't even have it over here. I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and put you back over here. Okay, so you're going to create a game property. You're going to put the text in there, and I just put hello world. Okay, in there as a string. It's not going to pop up because I don't have the text string that they wanted you to have, because for some odd reason it's not there. They figured you can probably just make it yourself in that little program that you can do online. So I'll have that down in the description. Okay. For example, let's see, because texts are drawn using textures, they might appear blurry when shown at extreme angles relative to the camera. Also, since the character set is extremely limited, international support for non-Latin alphabets and right-to-left languages is impossible to achieve. Okay? Where are we at? About 11 minutes. So we can probably try to keep it around 10 minutes. We're going to go ahead and stop it there. We're going to go with a text object for next week. So, as you see, you can do it. This is the layman's way of doing it. It's actually the old way of doing it, because next week we're going to do a better one than this one. Okay, you'll actually do some really cool stuff. So we won't need this text map, but I suggest you go ahead and go to the website that I had brought up, which is this one right here. I'll have it in the description below. Okay, you can go to it, and all you have to do is just open that up and download it. Okay, it's a bit font creator. Okay, I'm gonna cancel it for right now. And some of the descriptions of how to do it. You can do font style, so on and so forth. It will create the bitmap file for you to put on this. Okay, to put as your texture. So, in order to keep the video kind of short, I wanted to make sure that you get that available information. And like I said, I will put the link in the description, so that way you can also be able to find that. If not, you can just go, if you do have the book, which the link is in the description, you can actually just click on the link in the PDF file, and it would automatically take you there. Just give it a minute to catch up. Okay, so that's about it. We left off at page, let me see, what page are we on? Be helpful if I went to the right one, right? We're going to leave off at the bottom of page 52. Okay, and it'll be text object, and we'll see y'all next week.